Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Knightfall version of Batman. Very excited actually for this one here. This is one of the better looking Batmans I've seen in the McFarlane Toys line, I think ever since it started, if I'm being honest. I know I'm pretty critical of the DC McFarlane stuff, but I haven't gotten a lot of the stuff this year. Some of the figures I got in this line this year were pretty nice, including the Hush Batman and the Knightfall Catwoman. I'm very excited for the Hush Superman and the Tim Drake Robin. So yeah, there's just particular versions of these characters in the McFarlane Toys line coming out soon that I think are looking really good, this figure included. Enough rambling, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Pretty basic with what we usually get in the McFarlane Toys line, which is still pretty good ever since it started. Now, Amazon, it was being Amazon. The packaging is a little damaged, but it does say 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys figure in the box there. You can see some blue comic panels there. You can see the card there, the back as well. You see the figure in the box, some of the accessories. It does say DC Multiverse as well as Batman right there. On this side, it's just going to say DC Multiverse, and then you start looking towards, the bottom. It says Knightfall Batman, and then McFarlane Toys at the very bottom. Pretty much very similar on the side right here. It just says DC Multiverse Batman. And then something going on with Universe Infinite with that barcode, I guess, if you guys want to take a look at that right now. On the back here, it has really nice art from the Knightfall story. Not my particular favorite look for Batman, but what they did with this figure looks like they're just kind of doing slightly their own thing, while still being kind of accurate, so I'm cool with that. Let's see if there's a barcode. This might be a little bit of a harder figure to get actually, but hopefully if you can find this in stores, I have a barcode there in case you need it right there. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here's the figure out of the packaging. I'm actually really impressed with this figure. This is going to be a pretty big statement considering that I don't own every single McFarlane Toys Batman, because there's like 100 of them at this point. From what I've seen and just from personal experience, this I think is one of the best McFarlane Toys Batmans that they've done. There's some things about it that are common with McFarlane Toys stuff that I'm not a big fan of here. I feel like I say that almost every McFarlane Toys review. That's kind of par for the course at this point. But this is an extremely awesome figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. If there's one thing you know you're going to get with a McFarlane Toys DC figure, it's that you're going to get a collectible card here and a black circular base, and it does have the DC logo printed on there. This is pretty much the art from the back of the packaging. Just says Knightfall Batman. And do we really need to have another read-up of Batman? Y'all know who Batman is. The unique accessories with this figure, though, are similar to the Hush ones, but I think they're done a little bit better here. These are just these basic, I wouldn't say basic, I guess, but just, gripping hands here. There's really not much going on besides blue molded plastic, but the detailing on the palms are actually really sick. They look like actual gloves. I don't know if it's the plastic or if there's some paint apps going on, but it may be a camera trick too. The fingers look a little bit lighter than the palms, so there could be a little bit of paint variation going on in there. But the overall sculpting, yeah, it's really nice looking. I dig it. Now, we only get one of these, but we do have this blue Batarang. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know if I have it around, but it's smaller than the ones that we get with the Hush Batman. Again, I'm making comparisons there since we have that one that came out a few months ago and this one here now. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's like a almost glittery type of plastic, or again, it's just the type of plastic where it shines a little bit from the lights, I should say. The overall sculpt of this is nice. I'll take some photos at the end of him holding this. Holding it is not the easiest thing unless you're doing it like this, which is not going to really, I mean, I guess you can make this work or this work. I'm just having more trouble doing it like this for now, but it's still cool that we have a Batarang. So I do apologize that the detail portion doesn't have the best lighting. The backlights won't stay on, unfortunately, for this review. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this head sculpt is fantastic. I'm really digging it a lot. I'll look at the eyebrows. Those are really sick. The paint in the eyes with the white and the black in there is really clean. I know there's not that many paint apps throughout the whole figure, but what we do have here on a domestic scale is fantastic. I'm really digging a lot of the paint, especially in the mouth. Look at the lip color. You can see they even sculpted nostrils in there too. That is really sick. How the jawline is done, and the chin, all that sculpting is great, and the paint work of the skin tone is really nice. There's just a very slight skin tone speck on the blue, and you really can't tell that much. That's really sick. So I'm really digging this overall head. It might look, if I back out a little bit, it might look a little small compared to the rest of the body. I do think mostly it fits in scale pretty well, but there's a chance that if this is a little too small for some people, hey, you could use this for a 6-inch custom. And I'm only going to say this really quick because it's not even that much of a complaint. It's just kind of a derailment. I do wish, this is so good, I wish it was 6-inch. And I accept that McFarlane Toys DC stuff, besides the 66 Batman stuff, is going to be 7-inch scale. You know, there really is no changing that. But wouldn't it be cool if, even if they're from different universes, these figures were in scale with each other, and then the army builders from Marvel Legends would be in scale with a 6-inch Batman like this and could fight? Man, that just, this figure's so good, it makes me wish it was in a different scale. But I'm fine with it being in 7-inch scale, of course. Moving on to the torso, we'll talk about the cape a little later. So the chest, I really like the Bat logo there. There is very little wrong going on with the paint. Maybe if you look ever so slightly in some areas, it's really hard to see, but there is a little bit of yellow mixing into the black. But I just can't tell that much. It's got protruding details right here too of like the Bat logo, and then this actual oval protruding off the chest. I love that. It's really sick. Lots of nice wrinkles and muscles throughout the whole upper torso. Of course, where the pecs are, around the shoulders, the abs, the ribs too. All of that detailing is really great. Sometimes, you know, I think with early DC McFarlane stuff, it's actually not that bad on Hush Batman, but some of the sculpted like overlay of this torso into this ball joint waist, it would be a little too heavy. Again, it's not that bad on this particular figure, and it's even better, I would say, here. It all mixes together really well. Maybe this waist piece might look a little bit too small compared to this, but everything is really fantastic. I forgot that there was the butterfly joint there because it's pretty hidden. But again, you have some muscles in the shoulders, the biceps, and all that. I do believe that the glove here is a separate piece that they've ported and glued into this. So, you know, there really isn't any paint mixing going on there, which is fine. I don't know. I do wish there was some paint going on, but this looks so good molded in this plastic that it really doesn't need it. So, yeah, there's that. And one thing I do also want to mention, which is a bit of a problem with the Hush one. I mean, this is still a great figure. The ball jointed, you know, wrists and ankles, they're just a little too much like ball joints going on here. And they've been fixing this with some of their other figures over the past couple months. This here is a lot more natural looking. It's actually sculpted in a way that has some wrinkles to where you might want to move it around a little bit, and it might look better in angles like this, and it might look a little thin like that. But it's not just a ball joint. I mean, yeah, that's also exposed too, but I just think it's a lot more natural looking this time around, the way that this looks. And just really quickly move into the ankles, and we'll get back to the upper torso. The same thing here. All of that is a really nice uniform shape going on there. It's not too distracting like the ball joints that some of us have kind of grown used to. And then we do have the fists here looking good. And this wasn't really a problem. Well, it kind of was, but it made sense that this Batman came with a fist that had the kryptonite glove sculpted on there. But I do wish we had an extra hand that didn't have the ring on there, because it's going to be permanently on there if you're just playing it with a fist. And I know that was because of that particular comic run with the Hush Batman. But The good thing about this, it takes advantage of that. Our Knightfall Batman has 2 normal looking glove fist hands. Super happy about that. Because, we're usually getting stuff that's 1 fist and 1 open hand. So that's sick. Okay, finally moving on to the lower torso. Apologies for gushing a little too much. This figure just looks fantastic. The belt is really nice too. I really love how it comes out, and the yellow paint is not splotched at all. Really liking the belt. We do have the trunks going on here. I think it's a little bit of a thinner plastic this time around, but it still looks like a nice quality. We do have wrinkles going on around the crotch area. He's a bit caked up. You do have some wrinkles going on there, and also muscles in the back too. You can see there. Now we move on to the legs, some scrunching around the inner thighs. I think that's about it when it comes to the wrinkles. Maybe a little bit in the knees here too as well. The muscles in the knees, they also looks a little bony, but that still looks pretty good. But it's all just molded in this gray, which is fine. Again, I think they're doing what they did with the gloves in on the the boots, where it's a separate piece. I don't think anything is painted. But again, it looks good to where it really doesn't need it. I already talked about the ankles. All that looks fantastic. Look at the boots on the bottom. It really isn't any treading, but they look good still, I think, on the bottom. And yeah, wrinkles around the ankles, where this meets the joint there. Quickly talking about the cape, because I missed over that. Really nice wrinkles and waves going on in here. It kind of flows a little bit to the right, but it's still pretty natural looking to where you're not going to notice. And it's a pretty light cape, so it's not very top heavy at all if you're worried about posing this around. It may stick in this, pose when you want to pose it. So eventually some people may want to get rid of it and change it for a soft goods cape. And it's all soft plastic until we get to the cowl. I forgot to mention the nice muscles going on in the neck of the cowl. But yeah, all this looks great. We do have what the inside looks like with all that. And then you see the jagged edges towards the bottom there. That looks great. I'm really digging it. Forgot to mention the claw pieces on the wings too. Come through really nicely. A little bit of a soft plastic. So I'm just gushing over how this thing looks. Now the articulation in some areas could be better, but it's just perfectly fine in other areas. First off, the head is on a double ball peg, like with some Marvel Legends now. It does go side to side. I think they've been doing a double ball peg for a long time. That's as far up as it wants to go, though. I'm trying to force it up a little bit more. It could be a little bit better. And the down motion, he looks like he's looking down. I just wish it was a little bit better. But the swivel there really is no problem with that. We do have the kind of useless butterfly joints. They really just aren't amazing butterfly joints to begin with. So they only move just a little bit. They don't do much. But they do go all the way around here. My right shoulder's a little bit loose. It's kind of loose on this one too. But it still can keep a pose a bit. And then that's as far out as it wants to go. Not bad. Upper arm swivel. We do get, it's a little bit tough on here, but it is a double jointed elbow. It gets a little blocky, unfortunately. Hinges here at the wrist, and you can make it swivel and then go up and down. They've been using this wrist system for a pretty long time. We do have a ball jointed waist going on in here. And there's also a ball joint here. Actually, what's going on there? There's kind of a weird break in the sculpt right there. But look how far back that wants to go. That's really nice. Going forward could be maybe a little better. But that back motion was really sick. And then, of course, you get the swiveling and the side to side combined with all that. Now, of course, the legs, here we go. This is what I was talking about with common problems with McFarlane Toys. So the legs kick out fine, of course. And because of this being a soft plastic piece, it can kick out a little bit. But it's going to get, you're going to tear something up eventually. The splits are pretty much perfect here. The thigh swivel. Well, I knew it was coming. The outward motion is just non-existent. I don't know why Todd won't budge on giving pretty much all the figures a little bit better thigh swivel, not just some of them. Now, rotating inward, it's not, it stops, but it's not too bad.
just don't cake him up that much. Get sculpted away a little bit this Todd. Come on. I want to move out a little bit. This Batman should have thigh swivel going outward. Like that's just a thing. Anyway, double jointed knees. And then we get to ankle rotation here, down, up, ankle rocker, and we do get toe hinge. Now I have one less size comparison figure out here than I usually do just because the capes on these Batmans take up a lot of space. But measuring out the figure, we are looking pretty close to like 18.5 centimeters. That's going to put this at about 7¼ inches tall. So it is going to be a little bit shorter than the Hush Batman, I should say, which I'm okay with that scaling. I think Hush Batman is just a little too tall. You can see that Knightfall Catwoman is going to be a little bit shorter, which is accurate. And I think that both the Batman and Catwoman from Knightfall are fitting in pretty good scale with each other. And then you can see how tall all these figures are compared to a Marvel Legends figure. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this figure, as you can tell, because of the length of this review. I wanted it to be shorter. Oh well. I think McFarlane Toys pretty much nailed it here. I don't own that many DC McFarlane Toys figures, but I gotta be honest when I say this is one of my more favorite pieces that they have released. Even if you're a 6-inch collector, this is a 7-inch Batman I think you have to have in your collection. It's not perfect. There's some problems here shared with other McFarlane Toys figures, mostly the thigh swivel just not being very good. Honestly, I don't think that the butterfly joints are really that great on this figure, and some of the other figures honestly aren't that great with that as well. But everything else about the figure is really awesome. I really like the contrast of the sculpted gray with the blue to where that stuff doesn't even need paint. It looks that good. The wrinkles and the muscles sculpted into the body are really great. What paintwork we do have here in the belt, you know, the protruded bat logo and the eyes as well as the mouth exposed on the cowl, all that is really great. I do wish we had a soft goods cape here just for posing a little bit easier and all that. But the cape here is a soft enough plastic to where it's not going to be very top heavy. The rest of the articulation, I don't know if I already mentioned it, it's just really fantastic here, even with some of the shortcomings in the articulation. And the amount of accessories are pretty good. I do wish maybe we had some sprawled out hands and maybe an extra batarang. But this is just a really nice piece, and I highly recommend picking it up. The pre-order sold out pretty quick a couple months ago, but I think now that it's been released, it's getting a little bit easier to get online. I have no idea about store availability or anything like that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there. And I'll see you guys later.